So, I'm going to do a different video today because some of my friends and that have been, we're discussing astrology more, and one of the things that people, that I sort of have been discussing is looking back over time. Being a Virgo, I need proof, I need to see the evidence, you know, it's like, and so I've been doing like particular aspects, and recently we had Venus Retrograde. It's still coming back over its shadow path that it's retrograded back over, so we're still in that period of time. It retrograded 8 years ago in this same place, and I thought, well, it's quite an interesting transit to look at, and I knew exactly where I was 8 years ago, and there was a specific journey that I was going through, so I thought, you know what, this is going to be actually quite an interesting one to look at. I've got notes on my phone, so excuse me if I have to look down at stuff, because there's bits that I should have printed it off, really would have been easy, but there we go. So yes, and you probably can't see that, but it's helpful for me to look at. So 2010, I was working in Egypt. I'd got my original background is finance and all that sort of stuff, and I'd gone over there for a job to sell offshore insurance products, basically. And some of this might sound really bad, and you know, it was because well, from a personal emotional level anyway, because I was doing things with the wrong motive. But that also got highlighted in that time, because Venus retrogrades into my second house, which, though that is about earning money, it's also about self-worth and doing the right thing for you, for how you feel internally. So that it was an interesting dialogue that was going on with me at the time. So I'm in Egypt. I'd visited there before. I have Egyptian friends. Hi guys, hope you're doing well. And so it was a great opportunity to, you know, go and catch up with them as well as work in an amazing place. It was a commission-only job, and you had to find your own clients. So I was doing that. There was the potential to have some business with Accor Hotels and with the CEO and directors over there. And in my younger years, in my 20s, I was a born-again Christian. Which is a whole nother story. But I knew church, you know, and there's a big church in Egypt, in Cairo, and you know, there's people with income there, basically. So though I wasn't a Christian anymore, and I made the decision I could go to church, and I helped in the worship team and all sorts of stuff, but I would meet potential clients there. My apologies if any of you watch this from Mardi Church. My motives were not pure. And that's one of the reasons you'll see unfolding why I left left the whole scenario. So Venus has recently been retrograding through Scorpio and Libra. For me, that's because I'm a Virgo rising. That's my second and third houses. So the second house is self-worth, the money you earn, all that sort of stuff, you know. And for me, it's ruled by Libra, which is about relationships and balance in relationships. The third house is Scorpio for me, and Scorpio is about communications, the internet these days, the neighbourhood that you're in. And so Venus, the planet of love and money and relationships, was retrograding through this place. Now, interestingly enough, Scorpio rules other people's money. So here I am trying to sell people a product that will help them invest their money. Interestingly enough, right? So there's Venus in Scorpio, other people's money. Venus is about money, and it's in my house of communications. Here I am talking to other people about their money, right? So then Venus goes into retrograde through my period in Cairo, and I'm not earning any money because it's when a planet is in retrograde, it asks us to go internally to look at stuff internally, to reconsider things. And so you're not necessarily getting the outward appearance of or outward manifestation within our lives. And so I wasn't earning any money. I had a little bit of money to keep me there, because I knew it was a self-employed job, and you get paid your commission, and then that keeps you going till the next sale, sort of thing. So close to a sale, so close to getting a client, and it just wasn't quite coming, sort of thing. So I was at some prayer meetings and things. I say, look, I'm struggling to pay my rent now, so can we please offer up a prayer to? I need some help, sort of thing. Potential clients on the way, but it's not happening. Eventually, because I'm in the worship team and the church feel that I'm a blessing, that I'm, that I'm going to become an important member of their team. A member of the congregation offered to cover my rent whilst I'm in becoming within the leadership team in church. So this is a very Libra Venus blessing, and it just tore me. I've only just looked at this recently, but interestingly enough, so Pisces rules my 7th house. Pisces is the spirit world. Collectively, it rules the 12th house, which is all about the spirit, the unconscious, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. For me, it's in my 7th house, so it rules my relationship house. So in all sorts of relationship, I need connection. I want connection with people. It's not about the shallow things. Even Scorpio in the 3rd house is deep communications. It's I'm not interested in the rubbish around life, sort of thing. So interestingly enough, I've also got Saturn in Libra. Now Saturn is the father energy, the boundaries. It's doing things right. And if you're not doing them right, then why are you doing them at all? And I've got Uranus in the 7th house of Pisces. Uranus throws surprising things our way. It's lightning, it's the internet, it's things happening out of the blue, sort of thing, and that's opposing it's opposing the Sun and Mercury at the time that this is going on in Egypt. And so the Sun, though my Sun is in Virgo, the Sun represents how us, how we show face, sort of thing, and Mercury is the thought process. It's my ruler, and it's not opposing, it's sextiling. So it's not a harsh energy, but it's like, what, you need to look at this, Andy, and I couldn't take the people's money for my rent. I was that close to getting a deal with a client that I could have paid it back probably quite quickly. Now this time I don't know about astrology. I don't know anything about it. Well, not in any depth. But just my internal dialogue was, I can't take these people's money because I'm in that church dishonestly, and the universe is challenging me about that. So I left Cairo. I left the church without really any word. I left. Just went. Left. I don't know what happened to the client. I gave the details and everything of the potential client to the office, and maybe somebody else picked up on it. I don't know. I just left, and that was it. So zooming forward through time, I've just got to read these notes. Sorry. So 2014. So that is quite, it's a zoom through time. So I've left Egypt. I'm living in Glastonbury for a bit, and then I moved to London, pretty much on my coming up to my Uranus opposition, which is all about other people's money, sex, it's the taboos. It's the 8th house for me, where my Uranus opposition was happening, 2nd and 8th houses. And I wanted to make money, so off I trooped off to London, and was trying. I worked in bars, and I tried my own business, and things just weren't working, And then 2014, 2015. So 2014, Jupiter, which expands everything, was in my 12th house of spirituality, and this is when I really had sort of like a big-ish awakening. 2015 goes into my 1st house of identity. I'm embracing my creativity. I record my first EP. I get more into my art. Jupiter is saying you need to be more of who you are. It's been an amazing journey. 2016, my second house. My self-worth and my authenticity and my creativity is expanding. I'm trusting myself more and saying, you know what, that's I can be me. I can just be me. That's great. There were some illusions around relationships and karmic relationships. Interesting time. 2016. So a couple of relationships that were interesting. But again, that's self-worth. Neptune in the 7th house. I've been growing through it, wanting to find my soulmate, but also getting caught in the illusions and delusions. So that's been interesting. October, Uranus opposes Venus, my natal Venus, and I lose my sister in October. That's the 2nd and 8th house polarities. 8th house is inheritance. I receive a surprising inheritance. The last thing I thought was I'd lose my sister. This is all in this in the astrology. It's not making anything happen, but if you as I'm following it through, I'm now in a position where I'm co-creating with astrology, where I'm like, okay, I'm not going to make a decision out of fear. I can do this. I can be authentic me. Right. 2017, I moved to Bournemouth. I get my art studio. It's here today. That's just the base of something. Well, we'll be putting some colours on there soon. The North Node in Virgo, so like the North Node is our destiny point, and the North Node is encouraging me to go. Come on, you've got to be you. It's in the 1st house. It's in Virgo. Come on. Your point of evolution is in being you. I'm excited about this because it's great to remind myself. Investing in myself. Saturn was retrograding into my 4th house, so that's it's home and family, but it's also how we feel at home within ourselves. So Saturn's saying, come on, put the hard work in, Andy. You can invest in yourself. 2018, Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn, keeping my creativity going, even though it's tough, even though there's transformation, even though it's difficult to do. The North Node is in my 12th house. Jupiter is in Scorpio. So this 12th house. The North Node is saying, withdraw a little bit, go into your 12th house, which is Leo for me. Be guided by your heart. Scorpio is psychology. It's in my 3rd house. So I've got myself a therapist, and the past year I've been doing all of this therapy, working on my codependent issues, and really getting into my self-worth. The universe is saying, come on, you've got to really deal with all of this stuff, Andy, and to go forward authentically with yourself. And then so here we are again at a Venus retrograde. And just looking at the battery, we've got 7 minutes apparently. I don't know how that works. So here we are again. Venus retrograde, going back through the 3rd house. So I've been doing psychology. I've been doing my self-worth, which is very a Venusian thing about your self-love. And I'm broke again, like I was in Cairo. But this time, I'm aware of astrology. I'm trying to, though it's scary, I'm wanting to co-create with the universe, so I've had an exhibition, and Venus is, so that's sort of the communicative part of the 3rd house. Venus is retrograded into the 2nd house. Self-worth, I can put myself out there. I can be me. Just believing in what I'm doing. That I'm so innately creative that this is what I should do. It's just really interesting. So then Venus just gone direct in my 2nd house, so I'm hoping I'm going to make some money. But there's also a lot of self-worth and a lot of love for myself, hence doing this video. A friend very kindly has supported me in my creative life and lent me a bit of money to get through. But I had to ask for that. That's hard for me to do, for asking for my needs to be met. I know I've got some money coming down the line, so that's not going to be a problem. And there's lots of other things that we might work together on, which is exciting. It's exciting. Jupiter meets the Sun in Sagittarius today, with Mercury retrograding. And so the Sun is me, Jupiter is expansion, Mercury is thoughts, and it's all in my fourth house of home and family, and how I feel about myself. I'm excited. And an old project that I thought of ages ago about building an Earthship, or maybe some sort of community thing, has come back to me. Home and family, you know, that's Jupiter and the Sun. Think big, man, think big. And that subject totally came back to me recently. And so I've been sharing that today with my friend. And, you know, there's just some great co-creative energy going around. And I'm trusting it. I'm trying to be me more. I'm getting back into my music. You know, I'm going to try and record another EP next year. I've got some songs which I want to do. And maybe even one that I thought up today on a walk. Yeah, it's just, so this is why I'm into astrology so much, because I've looked back at the past of it, and I'll look at other stuff as well. It's just amazing that you can see how, you know, we have a tool that has been given to us that can help us see where we should be working on our lives. As you become more intuitively working with the universe, you're feeling this anyway. You know, lots of you could be just doing that anyway. But when you've got a map in front of you, you can really get into it properly. You know, and it's not about it's always going to be make your life easier or anything like that. It just, you know, when the poop hits the fan, then you can see it sort of coming. You know, you can. It's just you know, I have fears still. You know, because money is such an issue. You know, it's part of our world. You know, it's currently part of how we survive in this world, sort of thing. But I'm just trusting that within being authentic to myself, I'm going to live my evolutionary path. And I hope that me doing that will be an example to other people to say, you know what, I can do that too. You know, I've not come from a silver spoon. You know, I grew up in a council estate, a single parent family. You know, like I'm not doing this on the back of having loads of money. It's just, you know, the alignments have said expand, be yourself, work on your creativity. Go, you know, so the next year is going to be exciting. I'm going to look into the Earthship idea and maybe get that going, and you know, Jupiter will move into Capricorn in a year's time, which is all about get the work done, you know. So this year might be about all of the ideas and research and how I can get that going, and then when Jupiter moves into Capricorn, it's all about, you know, make things happen physically. That, you know, it's an Earth sign. It's physically put down the foundations. You've got all the plans now, physically. Do the work, you know. So exciting times, and I hope that's made you think a little bit more about astrology and that you might get into it. Cool. I'm not going to sing a song this time. You've been let off. Get into it. Just have a look. Have a look at your own bits and pieces. Follow Jupiter Returns on Facebook, or get hold of her. She's a friend of mine who's an amazing astrologer in Bournemouth, and she can do Skype readings and all that sort of stuff. Shout out to you, Alexandra. Cool. Authenticity. We're going to do it. Cheers, guys.